Oh, I go, okay. Oh, I don't know what to say. All right, this is a meeting of the Childcare Committee for OBPA, and it is 3:35 p.m. And I'll call the meeting to order. So first thing on the agenda is an update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I printed out the updated childcare planning, and it's dated for June 2022. The last update we had was in October, and at that time we were kind of in a waiting mode to hear on how we did with any kind of grants or funding opportunities. And at that time we were we did not receive a grant. We had applied for the CFA grant through New York State, the consolidated. I don't know the title to those programs, but we were turned down for that. So we really, where everything's focused now is dependent on funding. So like I said, I like my approach is doing the planning and just kind of listing those things that are done or need more work. So I'd like to go through our childcare planning. I believe you've all got a copy of that. And you can see in phase one, the project feasibility, everything in blue basically is remains the same and things that we've done. So as far as feasibility, we did a lot of that work back in June and July of 2021. Is there any questions on any of that? I don't think, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and it's really how we were going about that. And it talked about the community needs survey that Tony and Nicole did, and that's been very helpful, especially when we're asked different questions. That's one of the first things that we're asked, and we have some background on that. I don't think there's a necessity to update that right away. Do you? No. Okay. In phase two, first part talks about building our team. Basically, most of that is in place, but when you see under supporters, we are continuing to reach out to different entities and representatives in government, and just making our case as we can. And we have a pretty good outreach with that continuing process. When you see requests for proposals, that is kind of in place because we did sign a memorandum of understanding with the ARC of Jefferson and St. Lawrence County, and they have signed a letter of intent to partner with the OBPA as a potential operator of the child care facility. Currently, we have a meeting scheduled with the Empire State Development Office for July. We had originally scheduled it, what it would happen this morning, but Lynn Piotrowski, who's the representative for ARC, has some family matters that she had to attend to. So we weren't able to meet this morning. That was kind of one of the reasons for the meeting. I was hoping to have some more information on how we're going to go about that. But the discussion is going to focus on whether or not, and I did have a preliminary discussion with Lynn, and she had said that they would be interested in being the kind of the lead person or the lead applicant, and we would be partnering with them. But in discussions over time and on our grant applications, we feel that it's probably a better way to go about it. So we wanted to talk with Empire State Development and kind of pitch that's how we would be approaching this round of CFA grant awards and funding there. We haven't got an application yet, but we have all that information and it shouldn't be too difficult to turn that around to apply this year. And I think it's a rolling, and I think the next round is due end of July. So we do have some time, but we were just hoping to get started on that. Moving over on financing, not a whole lot has changed. That estimate, was done in the middle of 2021. We're going to still stay with that number of 4.77 million. And you can see that part of our CFA application was asking for just all we were entitled to is 20% of the total project cost. But in the bottom there, you see the 2021, as I said, the grant application was not successful, but we're proposing to go in a different direction for the 2022 CFA round of funding. The rest of that remains unchanged. Those numbers, we'll stay with them until probably we get into design work or something like that to get before we commit to anything. We probably need to have the latest estimate to see that any funding or monies that we have, we'll be able to see the project through. Funding sources, just to update you on that. Last year, Senator Gillibrand put in a request for 2.1 million, and that was in May of 2021. We did not receive anything last year on that, but she has gone and put in a request for that 2.1 million in May of this year. And I'm informed that Representative Stefanik has submitted a request also that was on her list for, and that was submitted in May of 2022. So hopefully, or together that we may see some federal funding through that. And just below that, I just reiterating that we are going to be requesting a similar amount for the 2022 CFA funding. Roughly, it'll end up being roughly $950,000. You see securing a site, nothing's changed there. On phase 3 facility design, I've moved everything out based on where we are right now. So facility design at the earliest probably would be March of 2023, having funding in place for grant awards by the end of the year. We could begin on that. And then in phase 4, just updating all of those dates accordingly to where we are right now. And you'll see that we have facility opening for probably September 2024, which would be the start of the school year, which might be, it'll depend, but that would be kind of more important to hit that rather than October or November. So, but I mean, we'll take whatever we can get, but that would be something in this timeline I think is doable. And then phase 5 is just ongoing facility maintenance and repair, and it just talks about basically what we need to be aware of there. Any questions and all that? I kind of went through it quick, but it's just really to bring everybody up to speed, and you can study that. And if you've got any questions, I can answer more detail.
Is there any idea of the grants that our federal representatives applied for? Is there any news of like when we might hear from those?
I know, for example, when we did get some bridge funding, it was in a similar mode last year, and we heard about it, I believe in December. But they submit these to committees, and sometimes they're not fully funded, but you get a partial amount out of that. So it could be the full amount. I would say by the end of the year with that, and that's kind of how I'm basing all of the dates and benchmarks there.
Okay.
Just so you know, Nicole is on the phone.
Okay.
Through the webinar.
So she can hear us?
Yes.
Okay. The state agency, department, whatever they are, Children and Family Services, is that what it is? Have we heard anything from them regarding any funding available?
No, a lot of my exploration over the last months have been really dealing with programs that are already in place, and then childcare facilities that are farther along or looking to expand there. I know the designation of a childcare desert is important, and this area qualifies. So it's an important part of an application. But you know, a lot of federal funding came this way.
Right.
For New York State. But not having anything, you know, concrete with our project, it's kind of difficult to apply or to discuss. They're aware of what we're trying to do and they encourage that, but I think it doesn't match up with what some of the funding is intended to do right now.
So if we already had a building built, it may be a little bit different.
Or if you were relocating, say ARC had something here in town and they wanted to upgrade, and this is just all hypothetical.
Right.
And we had a building and you could push together, I would think that we would be more qualified for that, but I can't say, but that kind of, I think they want more concrete things than just to say, this is our idea and our planning there, that they need more than that.
Okay.
Does Nicole have any questions? Can we hear her?
Yeah, she's muted herself at the moment. There you go.
You guys, I'm not able to get logged in. You're just fine, and I can see you. I don't know if you're able to see me, but I can see you.
Nicole, do you have some questions on, could you hear most of what I was
Yep,
talking?
I could, yeah. I was wondering, can you email me the documents that you guys are looking at?
I thought, yeah, I can. I thought I did it about 12:30 today, but you know what?
Okay.
I could have easily missed you, Nicole, and I apologize.
I don't check my email during the day, so,
I can send it right now.
although I don't see it.
Anne Marie will send it to you right now if that helps.
Thank you.
And yeah, and it's just mostly dates and some updates there based on what we left off in October.
Okay.
And for the committee's knowledge is, I probably went a little bit longer than we should have on this, but I know that if we don't pay attention to it, even though we kind of know where we are, I don't want to lose some, you know, you've done a lot of good work, and I know if it's, you know, what gets measured gets done type of thing. So that was kind of the reason. There's not a whole lot in here that changes, but we're thinking about it, and we're doing things, but a lot of it's just, and we knew that going in, that funding was going to be an issue as far as our success goes. So.
Do you want to move to the next, which is, update on funding sources? We kind of already did that.
Yeah, I kind of incorporated all that, but if you, and I did explain the future meeting on that, but I was just.
Do you have a date on that? It says July 2022. Is there like an actual?
No, but I think it'll be after the holidays there. It'll
Okay.
depend on Lynn's schedule there, and Steve is who we'll be meeting with. He was very gracious to offer us time in Watertown there, and I did have a small discussion of that, and he thought it would be it'd be a good thing there, but we just need to connect on that.
I know we met with Lynn, she was here, And we talked about what they do. Does she have anything in writing that you could share with us on what they do now and what they're proposing they would do here when we have the center up and operating?
Yeah, I know she told us a lot about what they can do. I don't know, I don't have anything, probably haven't gotten that far along, but I know just verbally, when we had her she explained a lot of things that, and Nicole knows this. There was a lot of programs that Nicole could talk the talk with her about things, and I was pleased that she knows a lot of the New York State rules and regulations, and with that, but we haven't talked about kind of what can you definitely, what would you be looking to do in the programs for that? We haven't gotten far or something detailed in that, but that could be something we could talk about when we meet.
Yeah, I just wonder when we're out trying to come up with funding, if that strengthens our whole pitch on what we want to do and what we're looking at. I mean, Tony and Nicole did the survey thing, so we have a pretty good idea of what people are looking for, or what they need. And I don't think there's any question on a need. It's out there. And then taking that and showing that, we may be a long way as far as what our thoughts are regarding this. We may not have a building built, but we know what we want to do and how we're going to do it.
Yeah, and I think if I recall, we had some conversations about almost things that they can do, or they maybe we prefer, we try to tailor it for this area of things that they can do that we may feel is not necessary, or things that we want to achieve, and can they do that for us, or that type of thing. But I think they offer quite a bit, and then probably we'd kind of see how they envision it, and then would have to come back to the committee or the board to kind of say we like that, or that matches up with our thinking.
Yeah, she had mentioned something about testing. I don't know, Tony, maybe you and Nicole know about certain testing that maybe preschool kids go through, and that a lot of cases now they have to go
like
to Jefferson County to have it done. And Lynn pretty much said she thinks they can do it here. So that saves a lot of time and travel for St. Lawrence County residents. And I think that overall strengthens our proposal.
Yeah, and I think too, they may look at our survey and build what they can do based on what they see.
Mhm.
And I think if they do that, we'd probably be in quite a bit of agreement, because there's a lot of things there that when we talked about the survey, that we'd like to have, and some that we don't know if they're feasible,
Right.
even though we like to have it.
Right.
I don't have any questions anymore.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and
You've done a great job in laying it out, breaking it down by phases and where we are, what we've already done, what we need to do in the future. It makes it easier to follow, I think.
Yeah, and I think you can tell by some of the lots of red, those are the areas that are slowing us down, or they're in, it all has to do with funding.
Right.
And hopefully we'll have some more success in the next few months with that. I know the feedback's been great, but I think we've got to be a lot more detailed and more specific about our applications, so that everyone understands where we're coming from. Because if you're a funding approver or something, you look at the authority and you might say, well, is that their business, and misunderstand our partnership. So that was kind of something I think we need to change a little bit, that it just on face value, we know how we're going to do it and what we want to do, but you've got to probably make it in detail so people understand how we see the process going forward.
And that's why ARC is doing the grant
That,
application this
right.
time.
And I don't want to speak for them because they haven't, Lynn thought that, that's doable, but she's got a board that she's got to, and we'd be partner, we'd be backing that part of the construction part that probably would be, a really good backing to an application, rather than saying, well, we're going to try to rent a space, or we got a space rented or whatever. Because we have a pretty good reputation for building space and operating that, and that we can stand behind that.
Yeah. True. I must admit that I was hoping originally that we'd have the building up and have it occupied for this fall. But it's been more difficult to obtain funding. We thought it was more readily available out there. We found out it's not, but we'll just modify some of what we're doing with our applications and hope for the best, and it happens soon. This timeline is, like another year or so out from where I was hoping we'd be.
We were supposed to be, I think, in construction at this point. So.
But there's been so much other issues that not only have we dealt with here at the OBPA, but state and federal. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and just overall, to talk about people that I've talked to, everybody's trying to help. I mean, it's not like anywhere where you're discussing it or no one's shutting us down.
Right.
And they're trying to work within the system. And I can understand where they come from when, we're not complete with things there. So we've kind of learned a little bit, and we'll just keep at it. Representatives and state agencies have been very good to us in the last couple of years, considering in our construction projects and other things. So we just hope that continues. Everybody good?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much for reviving our efforts at this.
Yeah, and I'll be bugging you guys for some assistance. You'll have more time.
Did I say that? No.
It's summer.
You're very persuasive, so, and then you come from your background, especially as a parent, and then the medical end of things, and understanding that would be a great help. So we may ask for a road trip or something, but that always helps. So I'll try not to bother you too much.
Okay, I guess any other such matters?
I have none.
Okay. Nicole?
I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Okay. Are we ready to just end the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm all set. If there's nothing else, I'll motion to adjourn.
Do we want the press to ask a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you could ask Andy if he wants, if he has a question.
Is Andy muted?
Andy's on.
Andy? You out there?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. You got any
Okay.
questions?
Yes, I just have a couple of quick questions. first off, where are you proposing to locate the facility? And do you know about how big it will be square footage wise?
It's about 15,000 square feet.
Yes.
And it's going to be located, we've got a couple vacant properties, but generally it's going to be located kind of in the center. There's a, behind, well, it was the gas company there. There's an area there that's really good for utilities, and it reduces a lot of construction costs because it's in a utility corridor. So we've kind of placed it there in our Commerce Park campus.
Could I please have a copy of that report that you went over emailed to me?
Oh, you want my planning?
Yeah, just the document that you were all discussing just now, if you
Sure.
wouldn't mind, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll get you that. It's really kind of our guide for how we're going about this, and we've been using it for, what, a year and a half, maybe or more?
Okay.
So, and you'll see it, whatever's in red has just been updated, but whatever's in blue has either been resolved or it's what we did in the past. So I just wanted to have the committee know where we're at. So that's kind of the whole point of today's meeting.
Okay. And one last question, Tony, do you have a middle initial that you use?
A.
A, okay, yes. My publisher insists on it, so I gotta ask. That's all I have. Thank you all very much.
All right, Andy. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Here's
I'll second.
All right, meeting adjourned. Oh, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned at 4:02.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Appreciate it.